People gathered in Fremont, California to protest the U.S. massacre of Afghans in Kandahar province, as well as the other atrocities related to this war, to protest the U.S. military recruitment of poor people in this country, and to raise awareness about and rally support against the U.S.-Afghan Strategic Partnership.
End the U.S. occupation now! End the U.S. occupation now!
End U.S. occupation now!
No more killing!
No more killing!
No more killing! No more killing! No more killing! No more killing! No more killing! No more killing! End the U.S. occupation now! End the U.S. occupation now!
Fremont is not a usual scene of protest, but it is home to a substantial population of Afghanis and Muslim Americans. The protest was organized by Afghans for Peace, Autonomous Afghans, and the San Francisco Bay Area Iraq Veterans Against the War. The protest began with a gathering at the Fremont BART station. A short march proceeded to a local Armed Forces Recruitment Center. The recruitment center closed and locked its doors, while protesters rallied in front.
I was in the U.S. Air Force, actually. I enlisted when I was in high school. Basically told a bunch of lies about the realities of the military. See, they paint these really heroic-looking pictures. Look at how heroic this dude looks. It's just all lies. It's ridiculous. You know, you're taught to dehumanize people of other countries, different cultures. And that dehumanization compounds, that racism compounds until things like the atrocities that recently happened in Afghanistan, or have been happening in Afghanistan. That the killing of civilians is not an isolated incident, even though the mainstream media wants to treat it like that. But this has been happening. Vastly disproportionate amounts of civilians have been being killed in Afghanistan and Iraq. And the war's not going to end from the top down. Obama just increased the war in Afghanistan. So what we got to do is we got to start taking direct action like this, start occupying the military and shutting them down, because that's the only way these wars are going to end, from the bottom up. So let's do it.
I joined the military in 2000. I joined the National Guard. 1 week of the month, 2 weeks in the summer. No, perfect. And then 9/11 happened. On that day, I left home. I got activated on that day, and 2 years later, well, less than 2 years later, I was in Iraq. National Guard is not supposed to be in Iraq. We're supposed to be, we have no war declared. Why were we there? Why was I there? Why are any of us there? So right now, I'm really glad that we're doing this. I'm glad everyone came out. And we need to end these wars, because it's not making any sense.
May the peace and blessings of God be upon you all. Brother Haroon asked me if I could just speak a few words. He said that the point of the gathering today is that we really want to hear diverse voices, and we want to hear different perspectives that are all, we're here in the solidarity movement, but at the same time we're each coming from our own unique background. And so I just wanted to represent that spiritual aspect, that, you know, religious people, non-religious people, human beings all alike are in this together. It doesn't matter what faith and background you're from. This is a human thing, and it's beyond religion. It's a human thing. But just to bring the religious aspect and to understand that we're here as well. First, just a question. Has anybody read this book, The New Jim Crow? Okay, whoever hasn't read it and believes in social justice has to purchase this immediately and read it from cover to cover. That's number one. Second, since the majority of people have not read it, who believes that we, just last month was my dear role model's anniversary, Malcolm X. Who believes that today, in the America that we live in today, we have finally reached the dream of what Martin Luther and Malcolm X and beautiful leaders like that were martyred for? Anybody? Have we reached that state here in America?
Hell no.
Okay, I'm glad that people actually realize that, because there's a people out there who are asleep and think that everything is good. Because we live in our nice neighborhoods with our nice houses, everything else is good. Because we don't see the bad, that means there is no bad. And so what this book has really opened my eyes to is that what's going on in Afghanistan and what's going on in our prisons all comes back to the same issue. What's going on with the prisons here in America and with the natives who were here 400 years ago, it's all connected. Absolutely. That the reason we're in Afghanistan is because they have natural gas. The reason we're in Afghanistan is because they have minerals that have our interest at heart. None of these wars that are happening today happen without a huge impact with the resources that are available in that country. Everything is intertwined with power and money and resources. And if you don't understand that, you don't understand this racial segregation, discrimination, prejudice, none of that is over. It's not as obvious as it used to be. We're not spraying people with our government hoses and having the canines go after them, but we're locking them up in numbers that is unprecedented before. It is absolutely ridiculous what's going on. Our brothers down in downtown Oakland, do we know what's going on to those people? I mean, as soon as you put that guy in a criminal record, you can do the exact same things you were doing to him when the civil rights movement and before that. Exact same thing. Yeah. You say that this guy has a criminal record, he no longer has the right to education, to a job, to a house. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. You just put, he's now a criminal, he's been stripped of all of his rights, and you do the exact same thing you used to do. So until we realize that it's our system, because one thing that really troubles me about our country is that we need like 20 of these things to happen in our face for us to finally wake up. First they have to urinate on my people, then they burn their most holy book, and then we're going to kill 17 people in the middle of the night for no reason, and then we wake up. This has been going on for 10 years. Why is it now? And there's still people out there who are asleep. So people who have finally woken up, it's our duty to let our brothers and sisters know. Because this isn't going to happen until there's a widespread conscience among the American people. And I mean, everybody has to wake up, we have to stand up against this. Because we're the majority, they're the minority, but yet they spread their rules amongst us because we don't care. We simply get our food, we do what we need to do, and we move on with life. While they have agendas that we're not aware of. And I know Sister Stephanie said she contacted a lot of religious officials, and none of them are here today, which is very saddening. Because if you're a religious official, and you preach something, and you're not at the forefront of all these movements, in my eyes, you're a hypocrite. You're a complete... Because any of us can sit in the mosque, in the church, whatever it may be, the Buddhist temple, and we preach peace, inner peace, inner peace. But when you see these injustices and you don't stand up against it, I'm sorry, that's a complete hypocrite in my eyes. You see injustice, you stand up against injustice.
A new CBS News poll found that 69% said that the U.S. should not be involved in Afghanistan. Nevertheless, the war in Afghanistan drags on, while the larger so-called war against terror appears to have no end in sight.